off. Flying through the hallway like a disco moth. Pitching to the couch, then I loop through the fan. My tiny whoops grooving like a funky jam. Dip through the doorway, spin by the cat. Bounce off the toaster, yeah, I meant to do that. Neighbors knocking, saying, what's that sound? It's my brush motor soul train getting down. Flying through the curtain, dancing on breeze. Freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic, bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight. Can't stop it all. I got LED strobes and a shag rug trail. I'm looping through the lava lamp, leaving a tail. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got soul. I'm the pilot of the party. On a roll, TV remotes a gate, the lamps a dive. I'm flying like it's 75. No GPS, no rules, no shame. Just a funky little quad in a soul train frame. Low, we fly that flow. Grab that gap. No time to nap. No time to nap. Hit that roll. Funk and control. Bounce that wall. We fly it all. We fly it all. Tiny whoop love, funky and free. We fly indoors, we fly with glee. Whoop it, loop it, groove it, move it, bounce it, flip it, funk it, rip it, fly that soul, don't lose control. Tiny whoop love gonna make you whole. I thread the needle through the vinyl stacks, bounce off the mirror ball, never looking back. My quad's got soul, it's got style, it's got sass. It dips through the incense like a blast from the past. I'm flying figure eights through the lava lamp glow, dodging house plants like a funky pro. My whoops got rhythm, my sticks got heat. I'm the pilot of the party with the grooviest beat. I loop through the hallway, I dive by the broom. I'm the disco ghost in your living room. I hit that splitter over grandma's chair. She just claps and says, boy, you got flair. I'm flying freestyle with a velvet touch. My quad so smooth it don't need a clutch. From the shag rug to the ceiling fan, I'm the funky little fly with a master plan. The curtains dancing on the breeze, freestyle funk in my living room with ease. Tiny whoop magic bumping every wall. I'm the James Brown of flight, can't stop at all. Can't stop at all. Can't stop at all.
Hey friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Friday Farting Around, Fresh Gear Friday. We're going to talk about the new Beta FPV Meteor. There's so many words that they've used here. Meteor Pro 204, Meteor75 and 65. I just got the email this morning about it, but they've got some great pictures of it and some great specs on the website, so we're going to take a look at mainly like the new canopy and design and all that stuff. The first little bit that you were watching there was the Caillou Mini on the RC & Power 1203. What are they, 11,000? I think they're 11,000 kV motors. Hold on, let me check. I just got to eject it real quick. And the you might have just seen the death, 11,500. You may have just seen the death of this GEP-RC AIO, which, if that's the case, I'm not heartbroken. I think the Flywoo AIO is the way to go. But yeah, the ELRS will not connect anymore. I do want to give it one more try though, and I do also want to plug it in 3 times to put it into bind mode and see if maybe it just lost the bind. So 1, 2, 3, and then the Minmo is firing up here. Bind mode, press to send bind request, binding. All right, let's see if this connects. I don't think it's gonna. The AIO is getting really hot after that crash, which is usually a sign that something has blown up. And yeah, it will not connect via ELRS. Oh no, there it goes. Oh my god. Okay, fantastic. All right, great. It's weird that it lost its bind, but every once in a while that happens. What you were just looking at when I landed there initially was me checking the RPM that it pulled, and it was 47,000, which is really high. These 11,500 kV 1203s, even on these low pitch Gemfan 2512s, I think these are, it's too much. That's a bit much. Unless you're looking for all the power in the world, then away you go. But for most people, that's going to be a bit much, and so you just motor limit them down a little bit. That's standard sort of fare. There's actually a chance I already did motor limit these down. Let me check that as well while I'm at it here. While I'm plugging stuff in, might as well take a quick look at that. So yeah, let's see. Beta flight coming up. And I have a funny feeling that I motor limited these down to 90% already. Which, if it's pulling 47,000 RPM motor limited down, that's bananas. Nah, no motor output limit. Okay, 100%. So yeah, that is a bit much, but also kind of perfect. In my opinion, you always want to buy motors that are a little bit too high of a kV so that you can motor limit them down to like 90%, 95%, 85%. And if for some reason you need extra power, if a set of bi-blades comes out for this, that's good. Or you're flying in a giant spot, or there's lots of wind, you can turn the power up a little bit, and away you go. So yeah, these motors, I think 11,500, like I said, is a bit much. I'll be really interested to see how they are at 90%. Might be kind of perfect for these lower pitch propellers. The jello that you saw was because these propellers got beat up. With a fresh set of these props, the motor should be fine. I'll test that next. But yeah, Caillou Mini is hanging in there. That crash was 100% my fault. I was just flying like a buffoon. I tried to rearm it like halfway through the tree to get control of it, and there was just nothing doing. So yeah, in the chat, Eco was first, Uke was next, Eloy, Frank Dr. Nicholas, Zout, Matthew Wegner, Mr. Clean, Nathan Wells, Perk, Ryan Sadat, Fizz, Royal, Portal's End, Philip, Weebleed's in the house. What's up, Zotek? How are you, man? Uriel. Who else? Philip, Matthew Wegner, WK. I think I got everybody. Thanks for coming, friends. Thank you for hanging with me. Missed a few live streams here in a row. I don't know. I feel like my eyes are back to normal, which is good. I went to the not the eye doctor, but the ophthalmologist, whatever. I went to Lens Crafters a week and a half ago. And they put me on all the crazy machines to figure out what my prescription was, and I don't know what happened, but either I don't know. I've been joking that like somebody was in there with conjunctivitis before me, but I didn't, and that it was developing. But I don't have pink eye. But yeah, I don't know what happened. Those machines or the tests or something screwed my eyes all up, and my eyes were like super itchy afterwards. And then I was like rubbing them like crazy, and then it was a nightmare. But I think it's somewhat back to normal. I don't know. I don't. I'm looking at the OBS window and I don't look like a monster anymore, so that's great. Any more than I usually look like a monster, I should say. But so yeah, that's good. And then I had some mental health shit in the middle of the week this week that really kicked my ass. If you're in the worst club in the world with depression, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, whatever, look, just like don't ever assume that like people, anybody in your life, especially like new people that you meet, have any sort of understanding of what you've actually got going on. It is our job to make sure that like we educate people, and so yeah, don't take that for granted. Don't just assume that people get what you're going through. Take the time to explain it, and that will force you to talk about it, and it's really important to talk about this stuff. And so yeah, don't ever forget that. Don't ever assume that. As we all know, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And so don't do that. Do not do that. Be very clear about your communication, and yeah, force yourself to talk about it with people. It's super, super, super important. The general public's understanding of mental health issues is awful. And yeah, like I said, it's our job to educate them, and in the process of doing so, it's actually going to make you feel better, because you're going to talk about it and you're going to think about it, and you're going to grapple with it, and yeah, so the whole kind of thing is a really important exercise to go through. But yeah, that's all I want to kind of say about that. I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole like I usually do about mental health shit, because we got a bunch of stuff to do. I'm going to try to get caught up on the giveaways here tonight. I'm not going to try to, I am. And so in a little over a half an hour, we are going to jump into the giveaways for the last like hour or so of the live stream. And also not just like educating, but like making people understand that it's real too. Like by explaining it and by explaining your experience, what you're also doing is like kind of validating it, and just, yeah, because there are people that just don't believe that it's real. And I get it, like if you don't have it, like why would you? And so yeah, it's that is an important part of the whole process, is like validating its reality and explaining your situation. And yeah, it's tough to do, but it's super important, because yeah, the misunderstandings surrounding it are wild, and it's super tough. It's one of the hardest parts, to be really honest. As someone that has struggled with pretty serious depression all my life, which has taken me all the way to the bottom at certain points. The fact that like people don't think it's real, and or yeah, it's the most difficult part, because it is absolutely real, and we don't like it. Like there's no benefit in having this. There's no upside whatsoever. And so like why on earth would you lie about having this thing? And that goes for all of the different flavors of mental health issues. They are just all bad. There is no upside whatsoever, and so yeah, no reason to lie about having it. It's yeah. So keep that in mind, friends. Stay strong. Stick with me. And even though mental health issues are very good at convincing you that you're alone, you are not. You never will be. It is an incredibly pervasive thing, and it's getting worse and worse and worse in our society. Among men, it's especially bad. And so, yeah, in the U.S., the stat is almost 1 million people per year commit suicide, and so just now, someone died to depression, and just now someone died to anxiety. And so yeah, it's a very real thing. If you ever get any kind of an inkling that anyone in your circle, friends, family, whatever, is going through it, take the time. I lost a friend a year and a half ago to suicide and from depression and anxiety, and I didn't see the signs. Not that I could have changed anything, but I did not see the signs, because we hide it. Because nobody wants to be around the sad person. Nobody wants to be with the person with depression. It makes us, pretty shitty to be with sometimes. And try as we might through medication and or talk therapy, and or whatever, lots of different ways to get through it. Unfortunately, it doesn't really get any easier. And so we just have to try our best and keep going. But it's hard for everyone around us. And when they don't understand it, it makes it even harder. So yeah, really, really, really important. You guys can absolutely always talk to me about this. I've got a Facebook group called FPV Therapy. I've got a text channel on my Discord called FPV Therapy. Lots of very brave, amazing people in there posting their stories. Always an ear to listen. And so, yeah, but look, talk about it is one of the biggest things, one of the biggest stigmas that we have to break. It's unbelievable that this is still where we're at in 2026, but it is just talking about it. None of us want to talk about it. I do not want to be talking about this right now, but if one person hears this and it opens their mind to it, and or they notice that a friend of theirs has disappeared in the past 2 weeks, and they reach out to them, I know it sounds super cliche, but it can literally save someone's life. It probably wouldn't have, but if I had known that Wilder had more than just anxiety, I would have bonded with him over also having depression, and that very well could have saved his life, and that would have been great. But it didn't, because he was better at hiding it than I was at seeing it. So yeah, there you go. There's your dose of real life for this live stream. So don't take this shit lightly. It is one of the most important things on earth, because it's people's lives, and they can end very quickly and very tragically and very suddenly, and that shit's permanent, and that's rough. So do as much as you can, my friends, and don't beat yourself up. I had a couple days after Wilder passed that, yeah, I beat the living shit out of myself, and then I was able to look, nope, it's not your responsibility. He had lots of people in his life, and so yeah, that period of beating myself up was proof of how much he meant to me, and that in that way it was a good thing. But it's important to not get stuck in that loop. And so yeah, It is each one of our individuals' responsibility to figure out how to get through this in a healthy way, and really, to be a little morbid but completely honest, as someone who's been dealing with this for 45 years, Wilder found relief. And again, super morbid, but I'm happy that he did. I'm happy that he no longer has to live the daily hell that is this. And if you get to the point where you're willing to do what he did, it's really bad. It's really, really bad, and it's excruciating. And that's a tough way to live. Again, I know that sounds very morbid, but those of you that have experienced severe depression know exactly what I'm talking about. Those of you that don't, maybe just take our word for it, because like, it doesn't benefit me to say that. I'm just being honest. And so I am happy that he found relief. I would selfishly love to have gotten to continue to have him on this planet with us, but he found relief. And yeah, when it's really bad and it's really severe, that's all you want. And so yeah, you do what you have to do to get that. Cool. Thanks, friends. Thanks for sticking with me. I've made mega leaps and strides with my mental health over the last 5 or 6 years. I found an incredible therapist who's very expensive. The really good ones typically are. If you can find a good therapist that's covered by insurance, good Lord, hold on to them. They're out there. For sure they're out there. Don't let this be like, it's not worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Talking to someone who's spent 6 to 8 plus years learning how the human brain works, about what's going on in your human brain, whether or not you have mental illness shit, is a wonderful thing. And it will change your life for the better. You'll understand everyone else better. You'll understand yourself better. It's incredible. Finding a medication that helps you, incredible. You got to go do it. And that's the hard part. That's the hardest part. So yeah, I'm very lucky to be in a situation where I can prioritize. My way of making it work financially was to prioritize my mental health over my physical health. My brain was the thing that was trying to kill me, not my body. I'm lucky enough to be somewhat healthy. And so the money that I spend on healthcare is my talk therapist. And so, yeah, that was my way of like kind of triaging the situation. Because again, I'm lucky enough to be like somewhat physically healthy. Whatever you have to do to make it happen, because your mental health is just as, if not sometimes more important than your physical health. So yeah, whatever you got to do, friends. If you need advice, let me know. I'll tell you. I wear this shit on my sleeve. I'll tell you everything that I know. I've learned a lot about it. Like I said, it's been a hell of a ride. And unfortunately, it never really ends. It's a thing that you go through. It's a life sentence. But you can develop a lot of tools, and you can find a lot of ways of coping, and you can live a happy, somewhat healthy life with this. But it's super difficult. If you want to talk directly to me, type at CiottiFPV into the chat. If you want to support me, go to CiottiFPV.com. This is a totally crowdfunded thing that we've got going on here. Nobody really sends me stuff for free. Every once in a while, We Bleed, Beta FPV, Newbie Drone, Happy Model will send me some stuff, which is incredibly generous. But I'm not like the other reviewers that get sent every, $200, $300, $400, $500 builds to review. So yeah. Yuke says, pretty cool. They put the bigger battery tray on the 65 Pro now. You run the 450 and not the jousting. Hell, could even run the 550. Yeah, I'm optimistic about this Meteor75 Pro 204. We're gonna dive into it as soon as I get caught up on chat here. Ryan Sadat says, good to see you again, brother. Happy Friday. You as well. He also says, no, we're going to talk about the new Meteors tonight, so sorry for rushing into the topic. What confuses me, sometimes it seems like Beta FPV knows exactly what we want. Others maybe less. Yeah, it's interesting to see the manufacturers that listen and the manufacturers that don't. There are manufacturers that don't listen at all. There are manufacturers that really listen, and then there's a bunch that are sort of in between. Beta FPV for a while, going like 2, 3, 4 years back, I would say, didn't really seem to listen. Over the last like 2 years, boy, have they listened. And their products have gotten incredibly good because of that. It's almost like we know what we're talking about. Since, we're out here slamming these things into the concrete and trees and everything in between. So yeah, one of the best things that these manufacturers can do is just listen to us. But that's tough because I'm sure that they get a lot of horrible feedback, right? And so it's tough and expensive for them and time consuming for them to sort through all the horrible feedback that they get and find the gold. But we're doing the R&D for them, so I think it's important that they do that. And when the manufacturer does it, we notice. We notice because their products all of a sudden get really good. Philip says, hope you're doing well. I'm getting there, man. I'm trying. Euro says, love you too, man. Stay gold. Thank you, dude. Ryan says, gotta say, either way, the dopamine rush of the words new beta FPV never gets old no matter what. And then Uriel says, I think you had a good excuse. Thank you, dude. Weebleed says, I'm good, my dude. Emerald? My second full-time job has me on running on all cylinders. Busy season, less time for FPV at the moment. Same old daily grind is real. Trying to get ready for the holiday season. Glad to hear you're doing well, brother. We're very, very lucky to have Weebleed in the hut. Weebleed's a perfect example. Zotek from Weebleed completely listens to us. Like Zotek has like reached out to me before to just like get feedback on products. Like that's crazy. That never happens. It should always happen because like there's a bunch of us that are willing to help, that are like feet on the ground, like in the trenches with this stuff. But it never happens. And it's so important when it does. That was actually, it's one of the many things that's impressed me so much about Weebleed is their like tenacity to talk to the people that are using this stuff and figure out what we want and then go the extra mile to make that happen and to talk to the manufacturers and fight for us with the manufacturers to make these products that we need and want. And so yeah, that's always been one of my favorite things about Weebleed is Zotek's just understanding that first and foremost, right? But then spending time and effort to do that, right? It's so much easier to just like look at what everybody else is doing and then just shit stuff out. It takes more time to actually find the people that are educated on this stuff and build a relationship with them and ask them for their advice. And so, yeah, we're super lucky to have folks like Weebleed in FPV. All Faxes says, Gangly Gang for life. Much love and respect always. Ryan Sadat says, what can we do as your homies to uplift you and be supportive when you have times when the mental health stuff gets in your way? Nothing, to be completely honest. There's nothing that you guys can do. There is. Don't leave. That is the most amazing thing that anybody can do is not bail on you, not leave. When you've lived with this for as long as I have, though, you've watched a lot of people leave, and that is your reality. Part of your reality is that people are gonna leave, and you like kind of expect that. And so then when it doesn't happen, it's incredible. And so, yeah. That's it. When just like your presence, and that's what like we talk about the most is like And so, like, the most extreme example of this, okay, is suicidality. Um, Typically, it's a 5 to 10 minute period that your brain gets so bad that you're willing to do that. And the thing that has more of an effect than anything else is just another human being there on the phone, near you, whatever. Just another person being connected to you in some way is the one thing that fights suicidality the best in that narrow window. And so, like, if that ever happens to you, if you ever see someone that you think might be like at that point, you don't have to do anything but be there with them and just talk to them. You don't have to say anything specific, ask them their name. It doesn't matter. It's just any amount of human connection there. The suicide helpline is 988. If you can get that person to call that number, almost always they will get through that instance of it. When I called the hotline, they and it's interesting. They talked to me for 10 or so minutes, and then they started to not like rush me off the phone, but it was like, cool, we're good. Like, on their side, they got to get on to the next, right? And that was really telling. Like, because this is their job, this is what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're good at it, right? And they know that if they can get you through that 5 to 10 minute window, that you're going to be all right. And so, yeah, it doesn't take much, just your presence. And so, yeah, there's nothing that can be done. It is up to each one of us to take care of this. There's not much, if anything, that anybody else can really do other than just to stick around. And sometimes it's extremely difficult and or impossible, because we can be impossible to be around. So, yeah. That's just the way it is. Uriel says, that are the gears of the clock of God, for everyone a own watch. Classic Uriel comment right there. Weebleed says, here's the thing. Like, and the first inclination there is going to be like, yo, call me. Oh, you have mental, call me. It doesn't work like that. When you're in it, you're not calling anyone. The thing that it does best is convince you that you're alone and nobody wants to talk to you, nobody wants to be around you. And so that doesn't work. Like, just blanket saying to people in your life that you know have mental illness, yo, you can always call me. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything. It's better than nothing. For sure, it's better than nothing. So do it, because it doesn't hurt. But unfortunately, like, you need to see it in them, and then you need to be the one that calls them. I've said a million times that if you get the sense that somebody is really in it, don't ask them anything. Don't ask them to call you. Don't ask them if they want to hang out. Tell them, like, hey, I'm coming over. Hey, we're going here. Hey, like, this is what we're doing. They probably won't say no. But yeah, you can't expect the people with the mental health issues to reach out to you. They just won't. And it sucks so bad. And it's actually one of the shitty things about it is that, like, it won't let you do that. Like, you'll know that you have these people, but it just doesn't let you do it. It's just, oof. It's just so evil. So evil. Brutal. Weebleed says, always for anyone else, whoever wants to talk or needs to talk, my direct cell. There you guys go. Anytime, to my best ability. It's super cool. I do not want to come off like, people always do that. Like, no. It's incredible what Zotek just did. And right now, I super duper appreciate it. But 2 days ago, I wouldn't have called him. He's in my cell. There were a couple of you guys messaged me, yo, call me if you need to talk. I didn't call you. We won't. It's just the way that it is. It's nothing against you. It's super cool that you offer, and like, it means a lot to us when we're in a decent place. But when we're in the bad place, it's not even a possibility. And maybe that's just me. I don't think so, because I've talked to so many people about this. But yeah, that is the unfortunate reality of living with this. So Euro says, remember the times you went over the point of depression? For me to start doing something. For me, start doing something. What's that mean? Off Access with a 20 Canadian Californian dollar super chat. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Off Access says you are not alone. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, there's so many people that suffer from this, and we know that. We all know that. But again, the thing that it's really good at is convincing us 100% certainty that we are alone. That is arguably the most evil part. Ryan set out with a $9.99 super chat. He says, thanks for fighting the hard fight and not giving up on yourself. Thank you, dude. Much appreciated. Jesus, we bleed with a $200 super chat. I'm going to take 100 of that, and I'm going to send it to NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Health. That's incredibly generous. Zotek. Yeah, NAMI.org is like the main organization here in the US that is just doing amazing things around mental health. So half for me, half for this, half for me because I am going to figure out a way here to get health insurance for the rest of the year. And I'm going to try a psychiatrist again. I'm going to try another journey on meds. I had a pretty rough time with that 6 or 7 years ago, but things have changed in my life. I'm quite a bit older now, and yeah, maybe I can find the medication that doesn't have such brutal side effects this time. There's only one way to. I'm certainly not going to figure that out by not trying it, and so yeah, that whole thing is going to be pretty expensive. So half for me, half for NAMI. Thank you so much, Zotek. That's very, very kind of you, man. Uriel says, if it supports, all mediums are saying when you're in difficult time, signed in the starts. If you notice, you're with the good, but it's bad. If you're in difficult time, it's in the start. B. Kirk says, I want to know how you slow the whoops down and get the throw you do trying to do the splits to power loop, and I hit the floor or ceiling all the time, trying for iGal. Great question. To slow a whoop down, it's about making it less aerodynamic. And so the Newbie Drone Cockroach 65 V3 frame has the tallest duct, and it makes a drastic difference. The Mobula 6 old school upside down ball sack canopy is the most canopy that you can get. It doesn't make as much of a difference as the frame. This frame is the main way to do it. The canopy does help. I love these canopies because I like this camera. This combination of old school Runcam Nano 3 with this canopy is fairly light. It's super durable. It's so like the durability, the ability to use this camera, it's all part of the package with this canopy for me. If you can't run this canopy, though, you can still have something that's slow. And then the throw is not just power. Power does help, though. The Weebleed 0702 40,000 kV motors in either 1 mil or 1.5 mil are my favorites. It's the best balance of power and efficiency. But the other thing about throw is sort of min-maxing your space. When I do the power loops or Matty flips, I'll come in as low as I possibly can, just scraping the ground, and then hammer the throttle to full as quickly as you possibly can. That's another trick, is being quick on the throttle, and then chop the throttle down to 0 as quick as you possibly can to get it to throw all the way up to the ceiling and like almost scrape the ceiling. And that's how you get the amount of hang time. That's also how, like, everything is going to be faster flying inside anyway, because the size of the space is orders of magnitude smaller. But that is the way to give yourself as much time as humanly possible. and it also tends to give you the much, obviously it kind of gives you the most space, but yeah, it's going to make the trying to do the really difficult stuff inside actually doable, especially if you want to do it at 0 throttle. The racers can do a lot of this stuff, and they just like drive the quad through the whole thing, right? They'll just stick, like they'll go from like 100% throttle to 50% throttle, and they'll just drive it up through the hanging gate, let's say, and then they'll just drive it straight down through the gate on the ground. That's not what I'm going for. I'm going for like the outside, 5-inch experience of being 0 throttle in that like beautiful float kind of time slows down moment for as long as humanly possible. And that's hard to do. It is hard to do that. But that's what makes it look really, really good in my opinion. So yeah, great question, B. Kirk. Uke says, can you change motor output limit from the OSD menu? You can indeed. You're going to go into profile and then MISC PP, and then it's on the second page. So you got to scroll all the way to the bottom, or you got to go up to go to the second hidden page. We got that. Ryan Sadat says, yes, correct me if I'm wrong. It was PID. It's in PID tuning MISC PP. Yeah, I think it's profile, not PID tuning, but whatever. It's that like one of those first options. Yuri says, I recognize that suicidality. I was in Taiwan in a hotel alone looking from skyscraper traffic lights in the middle of the night. Do something else is the only answer. Yeah, it's scary stuff. Striker says, yo, Ciotti, hope you're feeling better. I'm getting there, man. Thank you. Weebleed says, offer is always there, and good and bad. Understood. Thank you, Zotek. Portal's End says, you're not alone. Indeed. Weebleed says, awesome, glad to support. 421 Mantis is in the house. What's up, Patrick? One of the worst things about this most recent spiral to hell is that I didn't get to hang out with Patrick last night at the Santana and Doobie Brothers concert that I had tickets for. That hurt. But yeah, I would not have. You just can't do things. It just sucks. Uriel says, you just earned yourself something extra. Thank you, dude. Duck Holiday says, I've been there, and as dark can get. My current health issues took me down a dark hole. We love you. Thank you, man. B. Kirk says, put that healthcare fund back up. I got to figure out how much it's going to cost. One of you guys actually referred me to somebody who I'm hoping can get me some kind of health insurance for less than $300 a month. I don't know how much less it's going to be, though. So, yeah, we'll see. But thank you. Stevie B says, I took up flying when I was at my lowest low, struggling with depression, anxiety, and addiction. It had helped me. I always forget about addiction. I apologize. Addiction is real. It had helped me find friends, find real connections, and find something to try and better myself. It has been 8 years, and I'm better now than I've ever been. Love that, Stevie. Congrats, man. It's hard work. Fucking A, it's hard work. Striker says, I completely understand. A couple years ago, I went through a whole med journey as well, and just couldn't get anything to work, especially when you're younger. It's genuinely impossible. It's not. It's absolutely not. Absolutely not. For you, maybe. But it is absolutely not. There are lots and lots of people who you almost always have to put in a lot more work than you think you should, and or unfortunately they're willing to, because there are a lot of different medications, and they all have very different side effects, and they all have different side effects for each individual person. And so it is a long journey for some people. Some people, the first thing that their psychiatrist prescribes works really well and doesn't have horrible side effects, and fucking A, am I jealous of those people. But yeah, for most people it is quite the journey. It is not impossible, though. It is not at all. There are loads of people that meds work brilliant for. There are loads of people that meds don't work at all. And then there are people in between who, if they put a couple of years of work in, of trying different things and staying vigilant and working with their psychiatrist every month, will find something where the benefits outweigh the side effects. I did 2 and a bit years in my late 30s, and there were pills that definitely numbed me out, and there were pills that definitely did help, but the side effects were drastically outweighed the benefits. That was back before I realized I had a lot of different food sensitivities, and a lot of the side effects were just spending an hour a day on the toilet, which is no way to live. And so now that I have the food sensitivity and allergy shit sorted out, it might be completely different. It might not, but it might be completely different. And yeah, this is actually the last thing that I'll say about it, is that don't just blame it for everything. In my case, if I realized that like my stomach was changing, my body was changing as I was getting into my late 30s, and my stomach was not just able to eat anything I wanted anymore, it might have been a whole different experience. That's something that my current talk therapist is heavy on, is like you have to have a holistic approach to this. It's not, your body is all working together, and your gut is very closely tied to your brain. And so, yeah, if you have other stuff going on, that has to be a part of the conversation. You can't just, focus on this 100%. It's got to be like maybe 90-10 at least. So, yeah. Moton says, what do you think of the new 65 Pro being 66 millimeter post to post, and the V2 being 70 millimeter? Thanks for all you do for the micro crew. We're going to dive into that in 1 second. Let me just get through, caught up on chat because I'm almost there. Striker says, in my own narrow perspective, I tend to forget that other people exist. It's easy to do. But yeah, for some people it's magic. You're totally right. Motan says, sorry, man. Old 65 Pro is 66. New is 70. So yeah, they did that for the bigger battery. Let's just dive into it. So, brand new Meteor 65 and 75 2 Pro 204. Here's the email that they sent to probably every single one of you and myself this morning. I think most of this stuff is also on the website here, so I'm gonna kill this. Let's talk about the 65 first. I'm not shocked, but I'm a little surprised. 65 millimeter ish motor to motor. I hate calling them that name. I prefer to call this a 1.4 inch whoop. These guys, the normal 65 millimeter whoops are, I prefer to call 1.2 inch whoops. That's what these propellers are. No surprises that they're doing a new Meteor 65 Pro frame to use the 1.4 inch propellers on this. 04 wide here and this canopy are easily adding an extra 10 or 11 or 12 grams. And that is way too much for a 1.2 inch propeller setup. Way too much. And so really, really good idea going for the 1.4 inch prop setup on this thing. Admittedly, I hate it. I hate the 1.4 inch prop deal because it's different and there aren't as many options, and the options aren't quite as good as what we have in 1.2 and 1.6. But this is a perfect example of where it's actually kind of nice to have the 1.4 inch props. And so this 65 Pro frame has to be bigger than the previous one because they've set this frame up to run on the bigger, wider batteries. Another really good choice. This was genius to do this. And so now we've got basically the smallest setup that'll realistically carry this much extra weight and have somewhat decent flight performance. This also gives us a ton of different battery options, right? 450s. Hell, you could even run, if you wanted this to be lighter, there's a 380 mAh flat 1S battery. So you could run this down to be almost as light as a 300 mAh, old school setup. But realistically, you're going to want at least a 450 mAh battery on here. The Lava V2 480, 580, 550. Christ, you could even go up to like 650 if you really wanted extra runtime. That's going to start to really wreck the flight performance. But really, really, really good idea to set this up also like this. Also, this doesn't exist. We've never had the ability to run this big of a battery on this small of a propeller of a tiny whoop frame without having some like stupid setup of like cutting the plastic and using a rubber band, or like TPU printed things that hang below the tray and now the battery is hanging really low. This is amazing that we now have this frame available to us. So yeah, massive thumbs up there. The canopy, I really, really like what they've done with this canopy. So there's a little, here we go. We're going to zoom on this a little bit here. So they are using rubber bobbins is what these usually get called, these round bastards. And these rubber bobbins are really, really good at absorbing vibrations. I don't quite understand how they're going to do this. I think we'll see. We'll see. But what I love about that, when I initially saw this, I saw the bobbin, and then I just saw a screw head up here, and I was like, God damn it, Beta FPV. You're going to have a hard metal screw head against hard plastic. And so, like, yeah, sure, in the downward direction, when it compresses downwards, it's going to be soft mounted, but then it's going to slam back upwards, metal into plastic. We've been down that road before. It doesn't work. And then I saw this little illustration, and it looks like they've got a rubber thing that goes in up above here, which should take care of that. And so this is really, really cool. The other thing that's really good about this is the VTX is mounted to the canopy itself. And what that does is it mass damps the canopy. If you've got, so this is, if you go old school 10, 11 years back into FPV, back before the flight software or the gear was smooth enough to have a clean gyro signal that the error correction loop, the PID loop, could handle, they did what was called a clean and dirty system. The clean plate had your camera and your battery and anything else that you could weight this one plate up. And then the dirty plate was mounted to it on some sort of isolating damper. And that had your motors and your propellers and the arms of the frame and shit like that. And the whole point here is that the clean plate, you make it as heavy as possible so that it doesn't want to move. And then the dirty plate is always going to vibrate. And of course, the majority of the isolation is happening in the rubber grommets or whatever you have isolating those two plates. But the point is, you make that clean plate as heavy as you possibly can, because the heavier it is, the more it's going to resist motion, right? Think about a Miata rolling down a bumpy highway and a Suburban rolling down a bumpy highway, right? The Suburban, even on crazy spring rates, like if you were to put really stiff springs on the Suburban, or Cadillac, for those of you that aren't in the US, you'll know what a Cadillac is, right? Big, heavy bastard. Versus a stock Miata. Stock Miatas have really soft spring rates to try to get some amount of ride comfort in there, because the damn thing is so lightweight that every bump in the road is going to push up through the unsprung weight, the tire, the wheel tire package, hub, brakes, all that shit, and it's going to push right up into the chassis. And Miatas are not smooth riding cars no matter what, even on soft spring rates. A Cadillac, even on hard spring rates, is going to ride much better than a Miata, even on soft spring rates, because of the weight, right? You're putting energy into something. The heavier that is, the more it's going to like just naturally absorb that energy. And so that's what Beta FPV has done here, which is really, really cool. I think they also did this because it would have been difficult to mount this VTX to the basically the dirty plate down here, but whatever, it doesn't matter why they did it. It is fantastic that they've got as much weight as possible onto this clean plate basically that has the camera on it. So yeah, thumbs up for them. This canopy, there's a lot to this canopy, and it's gonna be heavy. They kind of had to do that though, because these wide 04 cameras are big. They're really, really big. And they've also pushed the camera forward to try to get the ducts out of view, which again is fantastic. I will say, the slots. Let me see if there's another picture of the canopy that's not moving the whole time. Yeah, here you go. These slots in the top and bottom of the canopy, I wish they had a little bit more adjustability. Their documentation here says between 15 and 35 degrees is the adjustability. I really wish that they could have gotten it down to 10 or even 5, because something this small is going to be, with this good of a camera platform, is going to be a weapon on like set basically. And 15 degrees of up tilt is a bit much. Like for doing really slow speed flying, you want to be down at 0 or 5. And so if there was one wish, it would be that, yeah, there was a little bit a less up tilt option here. Maybe we can just wallow out the bottom and or top to get that. Maybe we can pull down on the front rubber grommet or push up on the rear one to kind of get that. We'll see. You know, we're pretty handy with DIY stuff. We'll maybe be able to figure that out. But yeah, other than this canopy obviously being heavy, we know it's going to be heavier than the canopies that we're used to. Other than that, this is awesome. I really love what they've done here. Here they're showing you why the wheelbase is so much wider. It's because of the big battery. We talked about that. More power, more airtime. So they've gone to an 802 motor, which is perfect. Great call there. Looks like they're shipping it with these 1409 3 blades. I'm really interested in running this on bi-blades. That's going to be like the first thing that I do. And one more thing about the canopy. So this camera being pushed forwards like this is going to make this thing very nose heavy. Maybe they've done this, but if they haven't done this, the first thing that you're going to want to do when you get this is set this up so that you can put the battery in from the front. And I can show you what that's going to do. So when I spent all the time in the world dialing in the best possible 04 light carrying super lightweight rig to chase the RC drift cars, which are incredibly difficult to chase and stay like right on top of, putting the camera up front like this made this thing really nose heavy. And so the front motors have to do a lot more work than the rears, and when the front motors get to 100%, that's it. There's nothing more that can be done, and it hurts the flight performance to push the weight all the way up onto the nose, especially in the scenario that you don't have mega power to weight ratio. We get away with this on 5-inch rigs because they have 10+1 power to weight ratio very easily, and so they don't run out of power in the front. Tiny Whoops are the ass opposite situation. We're always running out of power on these. And so what you absolutely want to do is set it up so that your battery plug exits out the front. And when you do that, now you can put your battery in here. The batteries always push farther in that direction. And so hopefully they do this from the factory, but if they don't, this is the first thing you want to do. You're going to unplug the VTX. You're going to take your flight controller, pick it up, spin it 180 degrees, drop it back down. You could probably also do it. It depends if the frame is... if the frame is the same front to rear, it very well might be. But regardless, you're going to either take your camera and rotate it around, or take the flight controller and rotate it around so that your battery exits out the front. And now you can push the battery way out the back. And so now look how much lithium polymer we've got weighting down the rear of this frame versus the front of this frame, which gets made up for by the weight of the camera. And doing that, making that change to this thing made a noticeable difference. And so, yeah, hopefully they'll do that from the factory. But even if they don't, who cares? That's a super easy fix. And then you just go into Betaflight and rotate in the yaw. In the configuration tab, you're going to set it from 0 to 180, or if they have it at 90, you're going to go to 270 or whatever. You guys are smart if you're here. You'll be able to figure that out. So yeah, that will hopefully balance out how front heavy this thing is definitely going to be. I can tell you for sure that camera pushed forward like that is going to overload those front motors, and that causes issues. So yeah, that's going to be super important. At that point, you're also going to push the sliders, the pitch specific D and P and I sliders a little bit further. Hopefully they'll already be pushed a little bit, maybe to 1.1 out of the box. You're probably going to want to push them to 1.2. I emailed my contact at BetaFPV. I said, hey, I just saw this thing comes out. I'm super excited. I love what you've done. Do you need any more reviewers? I tend to get stuff like late when all the other reviewers have stopped putting their reviews up. So I'm not holding my breath, but you know, you gotta ask. 12 amp FETs should be really good. This is the flight controller that we've had for a while. I've got tons of batteries through this flight controller in that rig that I just showed you, and it's been flawless. So yeah, this is obviously a no-brainer. 802s are a great choice. Are they telling us what the KV is? They're not telling us what the KV is yet. That's okay. Hopefully it's high. Hopefully it's minimum 25,000. But I would love to see 30+ thousand KV. Yeah, I think that's about it. For the 65mm rig, they're also doing a 75mm version, which I'm a little bit annoyed. I get it. It's set up for the 1.8-inch props. I really wish that this was set up for the 1.6-inch props, but I get why they did this. The 1.8-inch props do pair really well with their 1102 22,000 kV motors. So I get it. Yes, you can run 1.6-inch props on this, but then you're just wasting a bunch of space, and the frame is heavier than it needs to be. Maybe you'll be able to frame swap this. Maybe not, though, because of how the canopy is mounting. The canopy is not mounting on the 25.5 by 25.5 holes. There are a separate set of holes out here. And so there's no telling if on any 1.6-inch propeller frame that exists, if there's going to be this mounting provision. So there might not be an option to swap this over to 1.6. But there are a couple of 1.8-inch propellers that are okay. There are better 1.6-inch props. But yeah, we're not, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. But I would definitely have rather seen this be on a 1.6-inch platform, because that also opens up the option for 2S, right? Like, this is, I don't know, maybe there will be a way to cut this battery tray out and run some kind of rubber band setup to do 2S. You would also have to swap out the AIO, of course. But yeah, there's not going to be a super clean way of doing 2S on this thing, which is unfortunate. But maybe we'll figure something out. Maybe, maybe this canopy will line up with one of the 2S capable battery bay 1.6-inch frames that are out there. I doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened. This is on their 1102 22,000 kV motor, which is a great choice. I don't think there's anything else to really say about this one. Same canopy, same everything. Yeah, really, really cool. Really, really, really cool. I'm impressed. You can get it with the 04 on board or without, and you add your own ELRS or S-Bus. This is crazy that they're making a version of it that's just got the pad so that you can run an external receiver. So yeah, between the 65 and the 75, if you ever want, if you want to fly indoors, it's going to be the 65. But boy, this is going to be heavy, man. Like, oh God, I completely forgot. These are not going to be hardcore freestyle builds. Just get that out of your head. Sure, you'll be able to fly hard freestyle with it, but these are not going to crash well. This canopy, this camera sticking up and out like this is not for freestyle. This is not for risky freestyle. This is for like chill, laid back freestyle. The way that this canopy mounts, whenever you have these rubber bobbins, it's not a strong way of mounting. It can't be. You can't like fully tighten a screw down when you have a soft mounted camera set up like this. And so none of these soft mounted camera dealios are ever properly like crash proof. So yeah, this is not something that you're gonna slam. This is something that you're gonna fly around and fly at like 0.8 max and really try not to crash this thing. Looks like 40. Wow, it's really heavy. 42.1 grams dry. That is really heavy. 24.18 with just the frame, motors, props, AIO. Is there a weight on the 65? There is. Woo! 36.3. Yeah, these are both pretty fat. I knew that canopy was going to be heavy and that wide angle camera was going to be heavy, but wowee. Yeah, so that's another reason that this is not going to be a freestyle rig, is that it's just that's really, really, really heavy. As a point of comparison, my 1.4 inch analog builds are, and obviously this is totally unfair, but this is what a fully freestyle capable indoor 1.4 inch build weighs. 18 grams. 17.9 grams. So yeah, neither one of these are going to be for indoor freestyle at all. Between the two of them, if you want to deal with the wind better, it's going to be the 75. If you want to be able to fly indoor better, it's going to be the 65. But get any indoor freestyle out of your head. This is going to be cinematic indoor flying only. Think like old school brushed tiny whoops, right? There was no possibility of doing a power loop or a Matty flip or any of that kind of shit. It was a glorified RC car, right? You could go forward, back, left, and right, and you can change elevation, but there wasn't a 3D off throttle throw element to it. That just didn't exist, and it's not gonna exist with this. If you manage to do that kind of stuff, you know, don't crash, because it's gonna completely explode more than likely. That's not what this is for. This is not for that. This is a more cinematic-ish flight experience, which will still be really fun. That can still be incredibly fun, especially when you're getting 4K 60 footage out of the damn thing. So like, that's, you know, not, it's kind of not a ding on it, because like, look, you're just not going to get that. You're not going to get a 4K 60 indoor hardcore freestyle experience. The cameras are not durable enough. The camera system is too heavy. It's just not a real thing. If you've got like a giant warehouse to fly in, it's a little bit more of a thing, but still the camera system is too fragile. Also the latency, there's too much latency in the digital systems to actually get a proper indoor freestyle experience. So yeah, it's not a real thing. You can get somewhat close, which we did last year here, but yeah, it's analog is still absolutely king, hands down. when it comes to wanting to fly proper freestyle. Striker says, I ended up building a Bando Turtle 2.5 earlier this week on an X12 and RCM Power 1202.5, 11,500. Second battery, I had 3 ESCs blow up at once. Worst failure I've ever had. Jesus, what the hell's that about? X12. Oh, you were pushing that X12 pretty hard though. 1202.5, 11,500 is a lot to ask of the X12. It should be able to handle that. But yeah, that's asking a ton of that. For a 2.5-inch build, you're going to want to be on like 20 amp FETs. Yes, 12 amp FETs should certainly be able to handle it, right? That's 48 amps total. But the X12 is a tiny whoop AIO. There are no 2.5-inch tiny whoops, right? And so like, yeah, the X12, like max, I would put it on as a 2-inch setup. I think you might have just asked a little too much from that AIO. Board got so hot the PCB literally puffed somehow, and all the motors, cap, main battery, lead, camera plug all desoldered themselves from the board. Jesus. Portals says, have you seen Butterfly's video on the 12 amp FETs? I saw the thumbnail. I haven't had a chance to click through, but yeah, it's looking like different AIOs with 12 amp FETs are delivering a different amount of power. We've seen this before. We've seen this with the HDLRC Spectre AIO underperforming compared to other 12 amp AIOs. Not super surprising. I am curious what the two AIOs are though. Yeah, when I have a chance, I will be watching that for sure. Islander says the S-Bus receiver option isn't for external receivers. It's for using the 04 Lights built-in receiver. Using the DJI-FPV remote. Good call. Good call. Nathan Wells says the motors on the 65 Pro 2 are 802 22,000. That's a shame. That is way too low of a KV. So the 65 Pro 2 is going to need a motor swap. Absolutely. I wouldn't even bother to fly this with the 802 22,000s that it came with. Unfortunately, runtime sells, which is just... It's such a perfect example of like, you know, a quad like this is going to get bought by and large by brand new people, and brand new people that don't know anything about FPV are going to see, if they see a 2-minute 30-second runtime, they're going to be like, no, that's insane. That's way too short. Not realizing that you land it on your desk in front of you and take 4 seconds to swap the batteries out. And so totally not surprising that they're sending it out with such low KV motors. If you're here and you're watching this, you want something that flies good, and those motors are not going to fly good. So yeah, plan on swapping in a set of 802 28,000 or up. I think my first choice would be the tree toppers, the Weebleed 802 32,500 kV tree toppers would probably be, they might be the best choice for this thing. But regardless, 28,000 kV and up 802 motors is absolutely going to be what you want on these 1.4 inch props. That's a shame that I would hope that I would have thought that they would have at least done a 25,000 kV motor. Maybe they don't have one. Maybe they don't have an 802 25,000 kV to put on here. But even if they do, they did it for the run. Yeah, look, the 405, whatever you got to do to get over 4 minutes of runtime, that's going to sell 10,000 more of these. I don't know if they'll sell 10,000 total, but whatever. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame for those of us that care about things flying decent. But again, makes total sense for them wanting to actually sell these things so that they can afford to make us more stuff, right? So yeah, I guess I can't fault them for that, but this is going to be hideously underpowered out of the box. So expect to swap a set of motors in with it. Thank you for that, Nathan. Striker says, should have been able to handle it in theory, but yeah, I was just asking way too much. Hopefully the build will work a lot better on 20 amp FETs. Yep, 20 amp FETs, or if you can find an AIO that is like 2 to 4S or 2 to 3S, or just like an AIO that is more suited to not whoops, right? There are AIOs out there with a USB port coming out the bottom. Those tend to be more geared towards tiny whoops, not always, but and then there's like AIOs with the USB port sideways, like toothpick style. Those AIOs will have heavier duty components because they're expecting you to run them on a toothpick style build, which is always more powerful than a tiny whoop. So that's some stuff that you can kind of look for there. Then Until the Trouble says, my nephews are planning to jump off the bridge into the river near me. About 2 stories. I probably have 1 or 2 chances. Trying to think of a good cinematic FPV shot. Any ideas? I mean, you have to, at least once, you have to try to dive with them, right? That's like the obvious one. If you can get that good on the first shot, the second one, I would maybe do completely opposite. Realistically, you're going to dive with them for both. But if the first attempt is really clean, on the second one, just do opposite. Hang out down by the water and then get like the sense of scale of them coming down, and then try not to get knocked into the water from the splash. So yeah, but you kind of have to at least once try to go with them, right? Bonus points if you can like dive down a part of the side of the bridge and then have them time it. Realistically, if you've only got 1 or 2 shots at it, don't try that. Hover with them and make sure that you can go with them. You know, as amazing as it is to try to get these like wild shots where it's all timed perfectly, more often than not, they're not going to be timed perfectly. This is like the story of my life, flying live broadcast gigs, trying to sync up, you know, a crazy entry into the race course with the cyclists coming around. It's incredibly difficult. And it sucks really bad to completely miss it and have a useless shot versus having a shot that's like, you know, like maybe you'll get a 10 out of 10. You can damn near guarantee that you're going to get an 8 out of 10. If you screw it up, you're going to get a like 2 out of 10. And so shoot for the 8 out of 10. Don't shoot for the 10 out of 10 unless you have a bunch of opportunities to try it over and over again. So that's where I'm sort of at with it. You know, if you want to be a YouTube star, that's probably not the greatest option. If you want to be a YouTube star, you go for the 10 out of 10 option, and maybe you get nothing, or maybe you get something that's amazing, and 1,000 more people will watch it, and your edic will get this much bigger, and it won't matter at all. So yeah, it depends. But Metaderson says, I shopped for 2S Plus AIs recently, and it was surprisingly hard to find one. It is indeed. So many of them are either 1 to 2S or 3 to 6S. Yeah, it sucks. There's not many options. Nathan Wells says, their new 2026 802 motors are Champion 28,000. Perfect. That's great. Racing 25,000 or Freestyle 22,000. Okay. So they do have... That's a shame. They should have done the 25,000s. But they obviously wanted to get over 4 minutes. That 4 minutes and 5 seconds runtime absolutely tells me why they went with these motors. But yeah, unfortunately, those for us, those 802 22,000 kV motors are totally worthless. There is nothing that can be done with those other than maybe using them on 2S, but 22,000 kV is actually too much for 2S. It's even too much to like motor limit down. So yeah, the motors this thing is going to come with are going to be pretty worthless. But that's okay. You should be used to that by now. Most bind and flies come with motors that are worthless. Ryan Sadat says, love these new Meteors, but I can't help but think CiottiFPV didn't need more / new Cinewhoops. The Meteor 04s were on the verge of being good freestyle whoops with a little weight reduction. Yeah, I mean, these guys are always going to make new stuff. It's what they have to do to stay in business. So, and they've changed a lot of things. This is fantastic. They've done really well with these 2 new builds. Denzel the Troubles, yes. It's the entry and timing to the dive that worries me. Yeah, go for the safe route. Be like right on top of them or like be orbiting them. And then whenever they go, and you go with them. Try to sync it up, obviously, but like go the safe route. Um, yeah, if it's a cool looking bridge, maybe like be, you know, if they're gonna jump off this way, maybe be in front of them so they can kind of jump towards you and then you go down. But yeah, think about that. Think about the safe option. Ryan Sadat says might try the new motors and prop slash frames with the old canopy. Will probably fly really well. He also says when all the 1102 motor class needed was a higher kV motor, I can understand why BetaFPV decided to make the 75 Pro motor even lower kV. It was already incredibly efficient. Is it lower? I assumed it was the 22,000 kV version. Did they do a lower? If so, again, they're doing it for the runtime. It didn't tell me in here, but yeah, and see here we go again. They wanted to get to that 5-minute mark. They wanted to get to that 6-minute mark. So it doesn't surprise me. It does annoy me. Freestyle 1102 motors. And so Freestyle 1102 motors. Why are there fireworks going on outside? 1102, 2026. I don't think they have the motors on their website. It doesn't look like these are just the regular 1102, 21,000. 21,000. Didn't they used to be 22,000? Maybe that is the new motor. The difference between 21 and 22,000 is probably nothing. This is probably the exact same motor, and they just changed the number on the side. So yeah, it's probably okay. Yeah, no, this is it because look, it says 2026. So yeah, it's 21,000 instead of 22. It's probably the exact same motor. If it's not, it's not that much of a change. Should be all right. All right, stop asking good questions, friends. We got to do the giveaways. Manaderson says maybe just make a couple practice dives at 1G down a 2-story building obstacle. Not good enough to have a gut sense of how the quad would fall. LOL. The quad will fall slower than a human body for sure. And so you're going to want to be as close to them as possible. There's nothing you can really do about that. There's nothing you can do about a plastic, flying thing diving as fast as a human body. But that's okay. That you're gonna want that distance when they hit the water and that big splash happens. So yeah, you'll be fine. But don't start. It's a really good point, Battle. Don't start 10 feet up and then wait for them to jump and then try to dive. Like you want to be even with them, if not maybe below them a little bit. And so they jump and then you keep them framed up and come down with them. Because yeah, they're gonna drop like a sack of fucking hammers and you're not. You're gonna drop like a drone. Cool. I'm all caught up on chat. Let's dive into the giveaways here. I'm gonna do this a little bit quicker than normal because it is getting a little bit late here, and so I'm just going to come in here, and I gotta click these buttons ahead of time anyway. So I think we're only going to play like one video from one of the benefits of joining my Patreon is you'll get full Discord access. Part of that full Discord access is the text channel called the Video Collective. In the Video Collective, all these beautiful gangly gangers post their flight edits and just random flying. And while I'm waiting for a couple things to happen here, I play these during the giveaways. Usually I play 3. Tonight I think I'm just going to do 1 because I'm having to like rush through this. And so hold on a second here. Oh good. Apple took away the get mail button. That was a terrible idea. What the hell? I need to hit the... Did they move it? Synchronize? No. New mailbox? Nope. What the hell? Why would you do that, you idiots? Well, one of them's done. The process of getting info out of Patreon is infuriating at the moment. Everything else about Patreon's great. Patreon actually just announced that they are not going to allow the AI bots to crawl content that you put up onto Patreon, which is absolutely amazing. We're starting to see a couple of companies actually take a stand against AI, and thank God, because boy, none of the companies developing it are putting any guardrails on it, which is, you know, how many movies do we have to make about this? Jesus. Obviously not going to go well. Well, okay, so I can't refresh this mailbox to see the new emails coming in, which is absolutely insane. Maybe they move? Oh, here it is. They moved it up here. That's so stupid. You anuses. They moved it up to the top bar. Where are these emails? Come on. I used to just be able to log into Patreon and click a button. It would download a CSV like that. Now you got to click a button on Patreon, and then they send you an email, and then you click another button in the email, and then it downloads, and it's just so stupid. Especially because those emails come through out of order. Problem I'm having right now, though, is that the emails aren't coming through. So let me click Get Mail again here. I just checked my junk and they weren't in there. Ryan Sadat says, believe it or not, the last Gen 65 Pro came with the 802 19,500 kV motors. So this is a decent upgrade. Puts a lot of batteries, put lots of batteries through that one. Yeah, but that was an analog rig. This one is like damn near twice as heavy. So yeah. Nathan Wells says, at least now you know you're getting the newest 1102 motor with the 21,000 kV label. Yep. That was a concern you brought up with the old 1102 22,000s. Yeah, true. Ryan says, on wind resistance, I find 1S builds at 75 milliliters plus with lower kV like this new Meteor do way worse than even 1.2 in the wind, for sure. They have so much surface area and so little power. Yep, indeed. When you go to bigger frames, it's more important. It's important to gain weight. If you're planning to fly outside in the wind, and you gain surface area but you don't gain weight, it's gonna get kicked around by the wind way worse. What is happening here? Why is it? This is kind of concerning. Well, let me open up this first one that did come through and see which this is. Oh, this is the second one that I hit. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So this one didn't work at all. So let's re-click this one. When it's ready, we'll email it. Okay. So this one did work. And then there's this one. Hey, there's that one. Okay, cool. That one worked. And now maybe I hit them too close together. Let me just give this a second. All right, it's been a second. Come on. No, it's going to have the same problem. I guess you got to give it a couple minutes in between. I might not be able to let people join the Patreon during the live stream. I might have to start doing this ahead of the live stream, which is not a terrible thing. I kind of hate doing this now live, but I always try to give you all as much possible time to join the Patreon or change your tier to get in on these giveaways. But life's imperfect, yo. All right, so let's try this one more time. Come on now. Yeah, it doesn't like you clicking this quick, like back to back like this. That's really silly. But I guess I get it. All right, so I just sort of have to wait, unfortunately. I gotta just kind of wait this out and keep clicking this. The Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier is going to be up first. You're going to be playing for a set of... So these first 3 giveaways are for patrons. The 4th giveaway is going to be open to anybody. Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaway is going to be a set of the NX69 300 mAh 1S batteries from Newbie Drone, as well as a lead. There's an NX69 lead in here as well. We've got a Weebleed prop box, which is amazing. These are so nice to have. Here's the deal with these. As you buy propellers, you always buy 1 extra set of propellers, and you put 1 extra set of every single propeller that you could possibly fly in here. And so this lives with 1 full set of every single Tiny Whoop propeller, or the open prop 2-inch, 2.5-inch, that you're flying. Because no matter what, when you bring that one weirdo random rig, the propeller that you lose is going to be the one that you used to fly 6 months ago. And so you keep that 1 extra set in here. Don't use this to store your props. Use this as 1 full set of every single propeller that's on any of your builds. That's the best way to do this. Speaking of propellers, here's a whole bunch that you're going to get. And then lots and lots of stickers. This is the same sticker set that's going to be on the Open to Everyone giveaway. Let me click this again and see if it'll actually send me the email this time. Oh my God, really? Come on, man. We've got Jimmy the Cow times 2. I got 6. CMYK. Northeast Whoop. I got 5. We Bleed FPI guy. iGow. We Bleed. Broken Prop Crew. We Bleed Holographic. Zotek himself. Vegan. We Bleed. Again, this full kit of stickers is with the 4th giveaway that we're going to do. The middle 2 giveaways have the weirdest selection of stickers you've ever seen. But in order to do anything, I need Patreon to send me this. I can't do anything with it. I should have clicked this one first. This is the folks that are on the $30 a month tier, $1 a day, which enters you into all 3 of these giveaways. So yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing this before the live stream. This is crazy. Maybe it's in junk? No, it's not in junk. Oh boy, that's a big shit sandwich. I should probably stop clicking the generate CSV button, because I'm assuming they're not sending it because they think that I'm just spamming the button. So yeah, now we just gonna have to wait. Man, will the shitification ever stop? Here's the more important question. Why is it shitification rather than shitification? Platform decay. Well, the large language model seems to think it's because the prefix is added to make the term sound more active and intentional, rather than E for electricity or whatever. Okay, fair enough. But also E like the internet, you know, like I. E like I, right? It should be I shittification. It should be you shittification. Because you're shitting it all up. Ryan says many things where I've gotten lost in his comments here. Where are we at? I think it might be this one. But FPV's current 802s come in 23, 25, 28. Butterfly says the most powerful 802 he's ever tested. Not surprising. A 28,000 kV from Beta FPV versus a 32,500 from Weebleed. Yeah. But the problem with the Beta FPV motor, Beta FPV 802 is going to be the 1mm motor shaft. And so the tree toppers are still going to be king, in my opinion. Also, the tree toppers are probably going to be significantly more durable. So yeah, I think the Weebleed 802 32,500 is going to be the best bet. Ryan also says, I think Beta FPV did listen on this one, but people have so many different options on 04 Whoops. They must have only listened to the people who wanted a wider angle and more runtime. Yeah, no, it's runtime. They want, you know, they have to do some things to sell quads, and a tiny whoop is an entry level quad. As much as we don't use them for that, tiny whoops are perfect for brand new people, and so it makes a lot of sense to set it up for runtime and sell as many of them as possible. They were listening. If they were listening to the majority of these Meteors would have higher KVB lighter. And they would have released 1 to 3S 12 amp AIO in analog and HD, but I digress. Yeah, I don't know if you can make a 1 to 3S AIO. I've never seen it, which tells me that there's some thing preventing that. I don't think they could have made this any lighter, significantly lighter, with the size of this camera. But I would have loved to have seen it higher KV, but yeah, I get it. And then Ryan says, sorry for being kind of ranty. LOL, I know there will never be a perfect build for everyone. Indeed. Chef Bruno says, just popping in for a second. Hope things are a little bit less more light gray. Thank you, dude. Fred Dr. Nicholas says, N shittification applies to physical items, not just computers. Sure. That makes sense. I always think about it with software. Ryan says, no, they made a 65 Pro with the Matrix AIO and the same 04 canopy and 04. Oh, that's they did. You're right. That's probably the build I have the most batteries through. Gotcha. I forgot about that one. Uriel says, tail what? Ryan says, the new 65 Pro 04 is called 65 2 because 65, 75 Pro... analog versions of those two, just a flight controller and canopy swap. Yep. All right. Come on, Patreon. I clicked it again. Hopefully I waited long enough. I did not. Yeah, okay. Let's fly a couple batteries, I guess. I don't know what else to do here. I can't do anything without them sending me this output. What the hell, bro? Might have to wait till Sunday. Jesus Christ, man. This is ridiculous. Hold on, let me try this again. Mailbox, get new mail. Come on, baby, send me the effing thing. Fuck. This is a hashtag 6 battery live stream, so you need to fly 6 batteries today. Do it. Don't not do it. I'm going to swap this propeller out. I forgot to do that after the last live stream. Hey, I got the propellers out. Forgot to put one on there. High left. That's going to be this guy. Why do I have these props sitting out on the table? FizzPV says, aren't the $30 people in the intro? Not all of them, no. The intro is oh, I forget which tier it is, but it's the tier up from 30 is the your name will be on the intro tier. My guess is going to be 50. Denzilla Terrible says your mom is in the intro. All right, I didn't even need this. Wasn't there another propeller that I wanted to swap out? Maybe not. Maybe. This is the Crazy G473 rig. This is an ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. 40,000 kV 0702s from Weebleed, right? Yeah. HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 propellers. Old school Mobula 6 canopy with Runcam Nano 6. One of my custom length ORT micro V antennas. Crazy G473 AIO, and unfortunately direct soldered motors. But I wanted to do a build with the Crazy G473, and this is pretty light. This is 17 point something grams. One way to save weight is definitely to direct solder the motors. I don't think it's worth it. Direct soldered motors for me have been less durable in many years of doing this, and the difference in power and or efficiency is only about 4 to 5%, which is nowhere near enough to warrant what a pain in the ass it is living with direct soldered motors. So it's not for me, but if it's for you, that's okay. I ain't gonna judge you. What if I refresh this screen and then click CSV? Nah, nothing. Fuck. Come on, man. I might. Okay. This is maddening. It was bad enough that they changed from a system where I could just hit the button and it would automatically download to this. Now the fact that they've put this delay in is pretty insane. But all it means is that like an hour before the live stream, I have to come in here and click the button once, wait 15 minutes, click it again, wait 15 minutes, click it again, wait 15, click it again. No, it's an email, Frank. It's not a pop-up, it's an email. And it worked on the second one when I waited that like 10 minutes. It worked. But I'm going to guess that's the delay is 10 minutes. All right. Here we go. Don't be alarmed. There's a sleeping child on the couch down here. Upstairs we go. The first thing we're going to do, of course, is practice right-handed orbits. I'm getting better at them, but I'm still not as good as left-handed orbits. This is such a nice thing to practice on. This is a Weebleed 340 mAh battery, by the way. I really like these batteries. Their old 300s are really good too. But yeah, the 340s are... I can't tell a difference between them, but the 340s are red and black instead of just being black. That's pretty cool. I'm going to do this whole battery. This fan is also pretty fast, I will admit. I wish it slowed down a little bit more. Our old fan that was nowhere near as cool rotated much slower. Woo! Man, getting like dialed in and doing a lot of those in a row, like I like forget how to fly. Coming out of that, I'm like, wait, I push the sticks. Because like right now, both of my sticks are almost all the way out into the plastic on the right. Like I mean, you can see it in the overlay how far I'm having to push these thumbsticks to get this thing to match up with the speed of that fan. Oh no. And that like just really screws up your brain. Well, screws up my brain. Woo! There is a propeller that is not super happy on here. This thing at 0 throttle is a little noisy. Oh God! Uh-oh. This is what happens when a tri-blade becomes a bi-blade. Don't do what I'm doing right now. This is the laziest thing I've ever done. Will there be any motor heat? Of course not, because it's a tiny whoop, and somehow the motors never get hot. So yeah, there you go. I dropped it. let's swap another propeller while we wait here. At the moment, my favorite propeller puller for tri-blades is, also for bi-blades, is the Gangly Donkey Donkey. What is this called? The Grappler. This is called the Grappler. This is the safest way to pull propellers. You don't have to cram a little fork in between the propeller and the motor bow. You just loop these little guys around the propeller blades themselves, put the pin down the middle, and it just pulls straight off. At first, it's kind of annoying dealing with these little guys, but you get the hang of it pretty quick. And yeah, absolute safest way to pull propellers. It comes with two heads, the 3-loop head and a 4-loop head. The 4-loop head works really well for bi-blades, but if I'm honest, I've been using the Propodials for bi-blades. The Propodial is going to loop under a bi-blade propeller, and then it's just going to pull up on the propeller. And so the propeller is hooked up to the motor shaft, right? Obviously. The propeller is holding on to the motor shaft here. And so when you just pull up on the propeller, the motor shaft is going to pull on the C-clip down on the bottom of the stator, and you're never going to break this connection here. And so, weirdly, as long as you don't spin the propeller when you're trying to pull it off, the Propodial is the safest way to pull bi-blades, and then the Grappler is the safest way to pull tri-blades. And so that's what I use. What is this? This is high right, of course. This is high left. Here's a high right, though. Let's get this swapped over. Lily Wells says, to get wide FOV in HD, decided to get the Caddx Ascent goggles and VTX Lite. It's not as good as 04, but it's 7 grams and a 14mm camera mount. Makes it fun to experiment with, cheap and available. Either last year or the year before, I went in pretty deep on the Walk Snail Lite stuff. When the 04 came out, I just completely abandoned it. Which was kind of unfair. The Walk Snail Lite was really good and is still really good. But boy, the 04 is like cheating. Being able to adjust having the manual adjustments of the camera is so nice. And then obviously it's a little bit better quality, but man, I had a ton of fun with the old Walk Snail Lite stuff. And yeah, having wide angle at 7 grams camera and VTX, can't really argue with that, right? These new wide angle 04s are almost double that. So yeah, nothing wrong with that, dude. That's not a bad decision at all. Especially if you don't want that manual control of the camera, Walk Snail Lite might be the better option. Ryan Sadat says, in your opinion, does direct solder make any more sense on a 1.2 inch with 1.5mm shaft and a durable enough AIO? Nope, because direct solder is, in my experience, less durable than motor plugs. And so, you know, durable AIO, 1.5mm motor shaft, durable frame. Why would you go with the less durable way of connecting the motors to the Bing Bong? Nathan Wells says Ascent is Walk Snail's $35 VTX and cam. Ah, okay, you did the new thing. Very cool. Even cooler, actually. Boy, do I want to click this generate CSV button again, but I don't want whatever time period that they're forcing me to wait between how often I click this to not be enough. And so let's keep flying. Let's keep flying here. If I can do these giveaways tonight, we're going to speed run them because it is 9 o'clock already. Here we go. Fly the rest of this battery with a fresh propeller up front here. Maybe that was the other propeller that was out of balance. You can always hope. Let's see. Nope, it was not. Low battery. Oh god. Oh god, dude. Oh my god. Okay, let's do one more here, and then I'm going to click that button again, and if it doesn't work, we're going to do the giveaways on Sunday. Because I can't just keep waiting around. So if you ever get this, we've got OSD, but no video. And so that means the camera has broken, or sometimes the cameras just don't boot up, so just power cycle it. But yeah, if you ever have OSD and a gray screen like that, your AIO is fine. It's the camera that has either failed or whatever. Nathan Wells says Ascent isn't walk snail. Nathan Wells, make up your mind. At 8:59, you said Ascent is walk snail, and now at 9 o'clock, you're saying Ascent isn't walk snail. What is Ascent? Oh, Caddx. Got it. I mean, Caddx. I sort of consider Caddx and walk snail to be the same thing. I guess they aren't, but for some reason, I just consider them to be the same thing. Oh, you. Oh, God. So janky. Much jank in tonight's flying. Oh, no. Don't be unrecoverable, please. I don't want to walk over. I don't want to stand up. Don't make me stand up. No. I have to stand up. Oh, what a bummer. Oh, there he is. There's our guy. There's the bad boy. Hello, bad dog. Oh, shit. Oh. Wow. Oh. 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 Hey. Oh. Hey. Hey. Oh. Hey. Oh. Woo! There he goes. He's freaking out. He's freaking out. Look at the tough guy. Look at the toughest 20-pound animal on Earth. He's like an angry beaver. He knows it's coming. He knows what's coming. Woo! Small dog, big personality. With the most embarrassing shirt of all time. It's all right, Teddy. Nobody sees. Nobody knows. Oh man, I made a huge correction on that to try to straighten that out. I can't believe how close I came. Ooh, I almost hit Little Boo. Little Boo being Florence, who is asleep on the couch. Oh, you shitter. Oh, cleared one, but hit the other. Nope. Got that one wrong. Where'd my OSD go? I turned it off. Uh-oh. Here we go. Oh my god! I cannot believe I just did that on the first shot. I was about to call it out, but then I decided not to because I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going to hit that. But that was the reverse of the giant power loop. The mega power loop is you go through here, and then you try to throw up there. But I just did the reverse on the first shot. That was so much luck. A little bit of skill. A little bit. There you go. I'm going to click this one more time, and if it doesn't work, we out of here. I flew 2, you fly 6. That's how it works. What is going on, Patreon? I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to do giveaways on Sunday. That is maddening. No, there it is. There it is. All right, we're going to speed run these giveaways. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Flipping this into storage mode. All right. Stick around. Stick around. We're doing all the giveaways right now. Next month, your regularly scheduled giveaways will resume. Okay. Got that. Got this. Let me click some shit here. We got Oh, come on now. Okay, open this. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh no, this ain't it. This didn't download the right thing. What? What did I download this? Wait, what? What did this just download? Oh, I guess this is the right thing. Hold on, this looks a little, this looks suspect. What's going on here? Filters. Okay. Active. That. Oh, okay. No, I guess it is. Okay, cool. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. So 15. Got that. Got this. Here we go. All right, got that one there. Got this one here to make a space. And got this one here. Okay, make a space. There we go. All right, so that one's good. And then we've got this, which was the first one that downloaded. That was the second one that downloaded here. Okay, got it. All right, so here's all the Tiny Whoop folks. Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, that one's all set. Submit. This one here was actually the first one that downloaded, so that's this guy. And yeah, there it is. Sweet, we got it. And quit numbers. All right. Got that one. Got this one. And cool. Tiny Whoop Toothpick Tier. I already showed you what it's for. Here we go. Monitor mic. Goat at the ready. Woo! Look how delayed. What is happening? KR just got blown away before my very eyes. Daniel Mauer's up here. He's hanging in. Frank Nicholas right next to him. They both just got blown away. Brian over here on the right, off axis on the far right. Ooh, off axis was hanging around late in the game. Edward Ashley, though, you have won. Congrats. You are getting some Tiny Whoop stuff sent to you. Just write your name down here real quick. Edward. Edward Ashley. I think I can maybe read that. All right. 3-inch micro brushless tier is a prop extravaganza. A whole bunch of sets of 2.5, 3, and 3.5 inch props in here, and the world's weirdest selection of stickers with an XT30 as well. That is gonna be on here. Goat screaming. Craig Myers hanging in there by motor number 1. Up on the top right, we got Rodney. He's gone. Patrick, he got blown away too. Every single person I pick gets blown away as soon as I say their name. I'm just not going to say anybody's names because if I say your name, you're going to get excited, but then you're going to get blown away. Michael Julio, congratulations. Michael Julio. Can I read that? I can. 5-inch tier is up next. Another prop extravaganza. We've got a whole bunch of different 5-inch props. We've got some of my favorite 4937, I believe these are, and then some 7-inch props even, the glass nylon 7035s with another weird selection of stickers. And that's going to be over here. Preston Roach is hanging out between motors 3 and 4, and of course he gets blown away as soon as I say his name. Let's see if this really works. Frank Nicholas is hanging in by motor number 3. Okay, all right, so it's not listening to me. Bill is off on the right there. Kevin just got blown away. Zotek got blown away. Complete networking. Congratulations. You have won. And complete net working. Hopefully I can read that. Last but not least is the Open to Anyone giveaway. It is $5 per ticket. You can do you can go to CiottiFPV.com and click the PayPal button, or you can just do a super chat here. Either or, you can buy as many tickets as you want. $5 per ticket. Here's what you're playing for. It is a Fly Tribe t-shirt in size medium, right? Yes, medium. I'm going to use this to pad the main thing that you're going to get, which is the gangly fan. But also you're going to get a 900 megahertz loosey-goosey antenna, an extended Immortal T 900 antenna, the full sticker pack from the Tiny Whoop giveaway. You're going to get to pick from 4 different sets of these stick ends from Weebleed. And then, of course, the gangly fan in the new color setup, the white and red. Barrel plug, hook it up to a goggle battery, stand it up like this as a solder fume extractor, sit it down like this, put your quad on top to keep it cool while you're updating it or doing 04 things or whatever. This is the only way to get these. These are not for sale. You have to enter and win one of these giveaways. That's what you're playing for, friends. Let's fill up this thing with ticket. Oh, and also a big nasty XT60 with giant 12 gauge wires hooked up to it. Yeah, let's get some tickets going, and we will blow some of them away, leave one of them, and that person will win. You get one more goat tonight. All right. You guys bashing on cargo shorts? Fair. What are you doing, Bobo? How'd you wake up like exactly at 9 o'clock? You knew it was time to wake up and ask me to do something. Your brain is pre-programmed. What are you doing? Yeah, I know. Fireworks again. It's very weird. Okay, so. Oh, look, now I'm getting all these emails from Patreon with from the previous times that I clicked the button. Jeez, that's annoying. Okay, mailbox, get new mail. Matthew Wagner with a $20 super chat. He says, not for me, for any Patreon names you remember saying out loud. What does that mean? Any Patreon names you remember saying out loud? What do you mean? And why not for you? The first 4 people to... The first... Oh, tickets that got blown off. So, that means... Okay, so that would be... I remember saying Frank Nicholas. I remember saying Off Axis. Jesus, I don't remember anything. My memory is not one of my strong suits. Who else did I say? I need to remember 2 more. I need to remember 2 more. How can I cheat? Can I click through and cheat? No, I can't click through and cheat it. These last 2 entries, thanks to Matthew Wegner, are going to go to the first 2 people who know what the name of the main character in this show is. First 2 people to answer. Breaking Bad. Don't say it, Bobo. Don't ruin the surprise. Gotta make her work for it. FizzPV and Doodlefish. There you guys go. Fizz and Doodlefish. Alright, cool. Let me check my email once or twice more, and then we're just going to spin this. We got 4 people on here. Better than no people. I got nothing. It's all good. You guys were incredibly generous earlier with the super chats. I think everybody blew their wad early on before the giveaways began. Portal's End. He's getting in here. Thank you, dude, for the support. I spelled that completely wrong. And Breaking Bad, Denzel, yeah. Since B-R-A-K, because since this spelling is not an actual show. All right, let's do it. Oh, no. John Ray Middle Dirtskin with a $10 PayPal. He's going on here twice. And there we go. Here we go. Submit and go. Next month we'll be back. Oh shit! Off access 2 for him, 2 for Danzilla. Those are gonna have to go on to next month. It's looking like it's gonna be Doodlefish. Doodlefish, congrats, you have won. Doodlefish, here's the deal. You need to send me your info. I don't recognize that name from Patreon. Patreon forces you to put your address in, so I can just go there and grab your guys' addresses. But yeah, Doodlefish, shoot me a message somewhere. CiottiFPV.com has a link to all my contact info. Discord and Instagram are the best, but my email is on there. Facebook Messenger is also on there. Those will work. But yeah, you need to message me and say, yo, this is Doodlefish. I'm writing Doodlefish down on this package, so that's the only way that I know you. And I do need you to pick right now, though. Here. There are 4 different styles of these thumbsticks. You need to pick which one you want. This is number 1. All you got to do is reply with the number. This is number 1. This is number 2. Okay, that's number 2. I have to put these in order. Otherwise, you'll type the number. I won't know which one's which. This is number 3. Little ball. And then... Nope, those are your only options. There's a repeat. There's 4 of these. So those are options. 1, 2, 3. Let me know which one you want, Doodlefish. See how many times we can say Doodlefish on the same live stream. Without just like sitting here and going, eh, Doodlefish, Doodlefish, Doodlefish. Doesn't work. 2! He wants number 2. That's great because that's the one that there's 4 of. Perfect. You got it, brother. Yeah, shoot me a message with your address and I'll send this all out eventually. It takes me a little while, but I will get it sent out for sure. Thanks for playing, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. What I need to do real quick is go play again. Nope, not play again. I need to relaunch this, and we're going to go 2 for off axis. This stays until next month. Off axis, copy, paste, 2 for Danzilla. Okay, copy, paste. There we go. So next month, these will be pre-populated and we'll leave these on. So thank you so much for the support, Off Access, and everybody else. Again, thanks to everybody for sticking with me through some challenging times here. It means a whole lot. I super, super appreciate every single one of you. I'll be back on Sunday at 3 o'clock as usual. And then we're going to have a Monday. There might not be a Monday stream. It might be Sunday and then the following Sunday. We got a little family vacation next week to Chattanooga, Tennessee, actually. And I forget what day we're leaving. I forget if we're leaving on Tuesday or I think we're leaving on Tuesday. So I think you'll get a Sunday to Monday stream and then we'll miss Wednesday, Friday, but then I'll be back the following Sunday. And it's looking like I might have a gig on that Saturday. Which could be pretty wild. We'll see. The budget has not been approved yet, but if that comes through, it's looking like it'll put me in front of some pretty popular people. We'll see. I'll probably be under NDA though, so I probably won't be able to really talk or say much about it, but eventually the NDAs run out. And then I'll be able to tell you all about it. Cool. Thanks, friends. CiottiFPV.com to support me. Join the Discord at the very least. Join the Patreon if you actually want to help a brother out, and then you'll get lots of benefits. Full access to the Discord. A YouTube playlist with like 130 some odd unreleased videos in there. Rough cuts, half-done edits, sketchy flying, I don't want to be public, Patreon-only live streams, lots of cool stuff. And there's lots of other benefits. Be good. I'll see you Sunday at 3 o'clock. Later, friends. Oh, wait, no. I need to play some flight footage for you. Hold on. Here's the... oh, by the way, on the intro, I played me crashing the super high KV 1203s. And then the second flight video I played was the T-Motor low KV 7000. That's what I'm going to play now, is the T-Motor 1203 7000s on the Caillou Mini. Be good, friends. See you Sunday.
Yeah. Out in the yard where the grass grows wild, CiottiFPV's goggles locked, grinning like a child. Teddy Spaghetti's fur flies and jet wash dreams, yeah. Chasing small whoops like a dog possessed fiend. Eyes on a neon blur, hard in the chase. Big fuzz and prop spin all tangled in place, yeah. Four-legged rebel with a rotor stir tail in the circus of the sky. They never fail. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, dynamic duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, thing, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sighties on sticks, Teddy's on paws. Side by side, legends breaking all the laws. Through the kitchen, over couch scale terrain. Backyard mayhem in their flight domain. No ground too sacred, no loop too tight. Fuzz, fuel, fury ignites the night. When pilot and pup lock eyes on the prize, every whoop they conquer is a fresh cut surprise. Yeah, yo, Ciotty behind the sticks, Teddy's leading the pack. Prop guard missiles unleashed, never looking back. No leash, no map, just freestyle mic. They on the dog drone streets every day and night. Said whoops, hitting low, gotta nail the dive, Teddy. Push throttle up, feel the beast come alive. I see the neon arc, got the sticks locked in, Teddy. Yeah, let's rip this loop, ride the roar of the wind, Teddy. Yep, yeah. CiottiFPV, Teddy Spaghetti, diamond and duo kings, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Teddy Spaghetti, barking at the breeze, throttling at top speed, things zooming through hoops, flipping in style. That schnauzer's got throttle and a toothy smile. Yeah, when you hear that bar cut the rotor hum, you know Ciotti and Teddy's mission's just begun. FPV's fur-faced legends, legends singing loud. Yeah, Teddy Spaghetti and CiottiFPV always proud.